Hello and welcome to this FPL Gameweek 13 edition of FPL Hacks with me, Holly Shand. Today I'll be looking at the players who have caught my eye last weekend and over the course of the last 4 games, who I think could be very good choices as we head into the most hectic stage of the season. Let's get into it. Starting with defenders then, the most obvious choice out there right now is Chelsea's Reece James. He's scored a staggering 53 points over the last 4 games. That puts him as the highest scoring fantasy player across all positions over that period, averaging over 13 points per game, which is absolutely sensational stuff. He's played every minute during this period, which is encouraging given that we've got a lot of games coming in a short space of time. And Chelsea themselves are very solid for clean sheets right now. They've had 8 clean sheets this season. So in 2/3 of their games, they've kept a clean sheet. So everything is aligning to Reece James being a very good fantasy asset. And if you haven't got him in your side already, I would look to prioritise a transfer to get him in. That's exactly what I'll be doing this week. My second defender of choice is Liverpool's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool have been the best attack in the Premier League so far this season. Everyone's permanently captaining Mo Salah. So how can you get an edge while still investing in Liverpool? I think Trent is the one to go with. He's got 3 double-digit returns in his last 4 games, including 5 attacking returns during that period. And last weekend, he registered 4 key passes, 2 of which were classified as big chances, obviously taking home attacking returns in that game as well. So if you're wanting to be more heavily invested in Liverpool than just having Mo Salah, get Trent Alexander-Arnold. I know he's expensive, but it's likely to be worth every single penny. Moving on to midfielders then, and one man who caught my eye on Sunday was Leeds United's Dan James. He got his first goal for Leeds United against Spurs, and he looked very, very lively in that game as well. He registered the most shots of any player in Game Week 12 with 7, and he was also top for shots on target with 4. I know Leeds were missing some key personnel in that game, particularly Raphinha and Bamford. And I think looking at Leeds United's fixtures with those players still to come in, I think we can see some very attacking football and lots of attacking returns from Leeds United players going into the next period of the season. And Dan James looks like he could be the one to capitalise from that, especially if we see Raphinha moving into a more central position. The second player on my buy list in terms of midfielders is Liverpool's Sadio Mane. We know what I've already just discussed about Trent Alexander-Arnold. The same applies for Mane, and I think given Liverpool's form right now, it's absolutely an option to go with 3 of their players right now. And I know Sadio Mane is expensive, but we look at all the other premium options and they're all faltering right now. We know what we're getting with Liverpool and we know what we're getting with Sadio Mane. I know he's probably underperformed, it's fair to say, so far this season, but he has scored 7 goals. Only Salah has got more goals this season, so that just shows you how he's chipping away with those attacking returns. He's probably gone under the radar a little bit, but when we're not wishing to use a lot of our budget on other premium players because they're not delivering right now, it could be a good idea just to get Sadio Mane in for the next few games while there's a good run of fixtures and try and capitalise. And he's had 4 big chances in his last 4 games. That's only corresponded to 2 goals, so there is potential for him to do even better than he has been doing over recent weeks. Moving on to forwards then, a player I haven't been overly comfortable with recommending over the last 3 weeks is Crystal Palace's Christian Benteke, but the underlying statistics are so solid now, and looking at his attacking returns as well, I think we've got to accept that he is a different player under Patrick Vieira and one that we need to be considering for our FPL sides right now. In terms of last weekend, he was very impressive. He got 2 goals, and over the last 4 games as well, he's had 15 shots in the box, which puts him top for any player in the game. And he's also top for shots in the box from last weekend with 5. So very impressive performance, and I think it's going to be a trend that we're going to continue to see with Crystal Palace's fixtures remaining very good. One question mark we had was over his minutes, but he has got 3 goals in his last 4 games. He started 3 of the last 4, and he played 90 minutes and over 80 minutes in his last 2 appearances. He's tended to be the player that's got more minutes when Crystal Palace have had the easier fixtures. So even though we may see some rotation, I think he's going to play in the games that we'd really want him to feature in. The second forward on my buy list is Newcastle United's Callum Wilson. I know Alan St-Maximin took most of the headlines last weekend, but I think in the long run, Callum Wilson is going to be the better option in this Newcastle United side. They've got some very good fixtures. Hopefully with the appointment of Eddie Howe, we're going to see a new manager bounce. It's something that we talk about a lot in FPL, and we expect Wilson to be on penalties. Now, he's disappointed over the last few weeks, including last weekend where he failed to notch an attacking return. But one thing that was encouraging from game week 12 is that he was top for shots in the box with 5, and he was also top for headed goal attempts with 3, with 1 big chance. So on another day, it could have been a different story. He could have registered quite a few attacking returns. So I really like the look of Callum Wilson going into the next few fixtures. That's it from me then for this FPL Gameweek 13 edition of FPL Hacks. If you found this video useful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you've got any fantasy dilemmas of your own, do get in the comments and I'll do my best to answer all of them ahead of the deadline. Good luck everyone for FPL Gameweek 13.